Kieran, it's been a month or so since I guess you last spoke publicly, the appointment of Michael Carrick. What are your reflections on that first month? It's been a really good one for the club.
Yeah, it's been really positive from obviously my side of things, and then obviously what everybody's seen him do since he's come in. He's made a big impact. He's changed some things. He's altered some tactics. He's altered some players and where they've played and who's coming to the team. So I think all in all for everybody, it's been a really positive start from him.
Because there can be difficult moments, I guess, in transition. So it's pleasing to see that it has gone so well, and there is such a positive feeling around the building as well, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's never easy. Normally, if a manager's coming into a football club, then something's gone wrong previously. So he came into a situation that wasn't quite right. We were in a position we didn't want to be in. So clearly something wasn't working. So for him to come in and make the impact he had so quick, I think we do need to understand that there'll be a few, speed humps in the road along the way. Great start, and I'm hoping, like we all are, that he keeps going that way. But we just need to, keep patient and stick with him, which I'm sure we will, because the fans have been great with him. They've had a song for him straight away, and he's been taken really, really well. And and obviously Woody as well, who's come back into the building, who's been a really positive impact as well. So long may it continue. But no, a good start.
There's been a lot of positive in terms of the player that you've been able to use, the likes of Hayden Hackney, building on the strong progression that we've had through our academy, but also players who've come in over the summer. Marcus Force has done particularly well. And from your point of view, seeing that continuity through the club must be pleasing as well.
I'm delighted to see Hayden in the team. I watched Hayden on loan last season at Scunthorpe, and although it was a major drop-off from where we were in the Championship to League Two, there were some really positive signs from Hayden that I felt he could make an impact quick. And he has actually made that impact. Once he got his opportunity with Leo and the guys, and then Michael's taken it on from there. He's taken to it really well, and then obviously it's led to Farrell getting a debut, and it just shows that the players are in that academy, and we've got to keep working to bring those players through, show them that there's a pathway there, and those two lads in particular are doing that. Obviously Jack Hanna's signed a new deal, etc. So yeah, some really positive signs, and we need to make sure that bloodline keeps coming through.
Yeah, I mean, we've got this kind of break in fixtures now, which is unusual. I mean, unique even. But from your point of view, it's always been looking towards the next window to January, and how's that looking at the moment?
Yeah, I guess the nature of my job is I am always looking to the next transfer window. What I really want to achieve at the club is that the windows are there to enhance us and make us better, but I don't want to keep going into each window like, oh, here comes the window now, we're going to be safe, we're going to do this, this and this. I want the club to get to a point where we start to look at those windows to bring in exactly what we need to make us better, as opposed to it being a wholesale change. And so, yeah, the windows, I look forward to them because it's a chance to improve the group. But again, with January coming, it's going to be an opportunity to help develop the group and move us on to where we want to be, which is higher up in the league.
Yeah, I mean, when Michael came in, as he said, it's great to have a manager who wants to be here long term. But I guess if there are going to be managerial changes, the point in your position is that you have that continuity, and ultimately the squad continues to progress regardless. Yeah,
I mean, working with Michael in his head coach capacity it's allowed us both to really sit down and plan and really work together, with other people in the club to really try and move the group on. And we're talking about players from the academy coming through, and even coaches that are now starting to step up from the academy, they're starting to come through as well. So it's good having that relationship now, and it feels like it's just going to get stronger and stronger every time we meet. And although we're early in our relationship, because I obviously didn't know Michael until I met him 8, 9, 10 weeks ago, I feel like there's a really good bond starting there, and I will include Jonathan in that as well. Jonathan is a major part of this, so it feels like a really good, real good unit, and everyone pulling in the right direction.
There's been some key appointments behind the scenes as well. I mean, Chris Jones has come in as head of scouting. What does that position mean, and how does that help you going forward?
Yeah, so Chris was somebody I worked with at Norwich, actually, and Wolves. I've got a long-standing relationship with him. He's a guy I respect a lot because he demands high standards, and he's one of those guys that you can ask him a question about something that happened 20 years ago in a football match, and he'll be able to tell you who scored at what time. He's like an encyclopedia of football, so he's the type of person you want around your football club when it comes to scouting and knowledge. So he joined us from Crystal Palace. He's obviously had just over a year there with them, scouting in the Premier League, which I'm hoping that's sort of knowledge that we can tap into in the future. But Chris has ultimately come in to lead the scouting, start us to get us into new territories properly, not just play it, we scout France. He'll do it properly, not just France, various areas, good contacts. He uses my contacts well, and he's somebody that can really help structure that department and ultimately bring targets to the club that we can sign.
It sounds like you're looking in kind of untapped markets. I mean, I know you've spoken about your success that you had at Norwich, and that seems like that was a key part of it, looking potentially where other people aren't looking as much and producing gems like that.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's difficult that now. Untapped markets is really, really difficult. Most areas are covered. The big clubs have 200-300 scouts and they don't really have a market they don't cover. What you need to do is get in quick, get in sharp, sell your project to the player and what you want to do for the player. Having someone like Michael and Jonathan as people that obviously coach the players, etc., that is a big sale for boys as well. As long as you sell your bits quick and you're in early and you're aggressive with what you want to do, that's how you really get the players nowadays. It's not really a land on an Emmy Buendia in Leonessa. I think them days are gone, sadly, and like I say, GBE's caused an issue for that as well. So I don't think it's a good thing, but it's not as easy as it perhaps was back then. It's become a really difficult market now to recruit players, certainly foreign players. Yeah,
but looking ahead to January, I guess the work never stops, but it's a particularly crucial period, and that'll continue throughout.
Yeah, I mean, the January window is going to be an opportunity to really hone in on some specific players that we like, and then going into the summer gives us a good 6-month period now to start really putting our work into who's going to make us a lot better, not just sticky plasters or that one will just fill in there. That we want to move away from that. We want to bring in players that make hopefully a big splash and move the club up the division and hopefully into a new one.
And if there is an element of selling the club to players when you're looking to bring them in, I guess it's a very good picture at the moment with Michael coming in and the kind of joined up thinking that we've seen.
Yeah, it's probably the modern day picture. I've been lucky enough to work in this model at Norwich with Stuart Webber and Daniel Farker, which was a similar scenario, albeit I would say, and no disrespect to Daniel, but Michael's a bigger name as well. Everybody knows who Michael is. Everyone's followed his career, even foreign players are aware of who he is, and Jonathan as well. So it does make it a little bit easier when you mention those two. Very much easier talking to central midfield players at the moment because they see who they could potentially be working with, and centre backs. So no, it certainly makes it that little bit easier.